Hello and welcome everyone to episode 205 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derrick, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm, of course, Brandon Bovia, freelance letterer extraordinaire, and this set, I think, is one I've been waiting for a little while. It's not the one, not even one of the ones. We'll get to those in a bit. But there's a lot of really kind of nice little nuggets of information, and I feel like we end at basically the perfect spot.
We really did.
Yeah,
when that happened, I'm like, I feel like it's coming up. It felt like as we were rolling along, it really did feel like, I think it's going to happen. And then it happened. I was like, wow, it couldn't have been better timed on our part, which is just crazy. It's funny. This is a set of lots of little moments. There's a lot of, it feels like it's the last little bits of information that Oda wants to get in there to set up, as we'll find out, Act 3.
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of like, all the little things that there's not really, we're not going to have time for this. We're going to resolve all of these kind of little narrative, bits and bobs, as it were. So I'm excited for that. And there's some really just like fascinating stuff in here. So
there really is. I like where it's going. It's interesting setup for a lot of different things. Oda fast forwards. What Oda chooses to fast forward is interesting. And it maintains a nice balance of, okay, thanks to Yasuie, we've recovered. We're in a much better shape. We have we have a solid plan going forward. But unlike the attempted assassination of Big Mom, the reader is given a few ideas of how things can go wrong that they don't know about. That's developing around there, and there's a lot of interesting planting to see how this is going to end up happening, or this is going to end up happening, and I'm curious how it's going to evolve as time goes on.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Because we still have a lot of chapters to go. Like at this point. At this point, it feels like 4 acts or 5 acts.
Yeah, I mean, God, it really. Again, we have so much left that it feels like end of Act 2 is just like, are you sure it's not the end of Act 1?
Yeah, kinda. It's funny. I predicted that each act would end with Luffy attempting to take on Kaido. And I was incorrect, but it was also like, each end was with a fight against Kaido. So
yeah, technically, yes, that is true.
We just changed who's actually doing the fighting.
Yeah, I do think it is kind of cool though that we ended the first act with Luffy losing to Kaido, and now kind of as we end the second act, it's like we're preparing for round 2, right? Like Luffy is basically reaching the apex of his training. Which is also really, really fun to see. And as we've remarked before, doesn't happen on screen that often in One Piece, if ever, really. So. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But let's get right to it, because who knows how much there is to talk about with all this. Like, I can see us going for a while. Yeah. I can see us not going for a while. We're going for normal. Let's find out and jump into the sets, beginning with chapter 951, Rampage. And we got a color spread once again, hyping up Stampede as everybody's having dinner before the big movie premiere. All our big characters all drinking and eating, except for Law, who's just sort of annoyed by everybody, which... yeah, that sounds about right.
Buggy spilled a triple-decker burger on him.
That would be annoying. You know what? I have a prediction for what... it feels like such a weird prediction for like a spoiler, but whatever's going on with Buggy's body is the spoiler that you're protecting me from.
Oh!
Because that's the only thing I can look at and be like, what? I mean, I have a feeling he's puffing himself out essentially, but why? that's my whole thing. It's such a weird design, and I do not like it honestly compared to what we had in the past.
It's buggy, and now he's very baggy.
Yeah. That's
yeah. The thing, I'll tell you when we get there, because it'll since we moved it'll be the week after 970. So it there's no indication at any point right now that like this is a fact that would be revealed.
The funny thing is, if we had kept to where we would have recorded Stampede initially, it would have been after this episode, which is the perfect place to put it, just smack dab in the middle. Like,
yes,
between acts.
Exactly. Yeah, if it wasn't for that one thing that is like really important to the plot of that movie.
This is the perfect place to just, and let's have a movie break.
Yeah.
Go figure. But nope, we gotta wait 15 more chapters. So
yeah,
we're probably gonna be in the middle
there's
of
a lot that's about to happen in those 15 chapters.
Apparently. So let's get to them with and get into the chapter itself as Orochi is not happy that everybody involved in that Yasurie incident got away, except for Trafalgar Law. He, of course, I always forget this guy's name, but the leader of the ninja corps.
Oh, it's Fukurokuju. Very easy to remember.
Oh, yeah, that's a name that just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
But basically, he's like, hey, he's one of the ringleaders along with Straw Hat. This means that we have apprehended 2 leaders of the intruders into our lands, and in the pirating world, betrayal never goes out of style. So, good torture regimen should render them pliable. It's like, all right, let's start torture, and we'll go from there.
It is funny from their perspective. It is like, oh yeah, we caught Law, we caught Luffy, we're doing great.
That's true.
Nobody has any idea what is going on in Udon.
That's a good point. Like, I keep thinking like they're aware of, well, maybe they are, but there's the fact that, again, that there is information that's being controlled on both sides, and it really does show how much information is important to everything. I'm enjoying that.
And sort of the control of information and how information flows. That will continue to be a pretty important plot point, I think.
Mm-hmm. And we might not be seeing the Flower Capital as much in Act 3, outside of probably checking in on Orochi, because it's on high alert. Samurai and ninja patrolling every quarter, and we get to see a few of these designs, and it's like, are these guys going to show up again? Because those are some, again, Oda sometimes likes to just have crazy designs for incidental characters, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This samurai.
All these ninja are way more unique than I remember.
Yeah, like the girl to the left of the literal Afro samurai is like, what's hers?
Yeah.
Like the mask and everything.
Yeah, is it 2020 yet?
Yeah, I know.
In terms
he's
of
ready.
Manga, I'm not sure.
Oh gosh, but of course now they have wanted posters for all of the ones that are out there and about, and keep track of them. And Sanji and Shinobu are looking things over and being like, well, this ain't good. We really can't stick around the capital anymore. And Shinobu's like, well, it's for the best. We wanted to find all the people that were had the Mark of the Moon. They're all locked up, so we know where they are now. They're just you got to get them free. And,
which I feel like is also going to that's also a problem that needs to be solved.
It is like we have to have a prison breakout for these guys if we want them to help. But and Tomiyasu did help clear their names, in quotes.
Yes.
But Orochi never likes to lose face, so he's not going to release them. So
of course. Yeah, which it is a little bit of a shame from that perspective. There are other gains that have been made, as we'll see later, but the idea that you should just let them all free, right? Like it was all one big misunderstanding, and of course, of course, Orochi is not the kind of person who would just let that go.
No, not at all. And of course, they know that Law is captured, and we're getting a little bit of they're sort of scoping things out. That we get a little bit more information on what this festival is all about, because they're making skyboats out there. I bet they're not in the mood for it because poor people just died. It's like, no, the opposite. The Fire Festival of the Flower Capital is a ceremony to mourn and remember the dead. It's a time when our wishes and feelings reach them more than ever. So I was like, oh. And
yeah, it's a nice little bit of world building.
Yeah. And I love how this is the first poster that got Sanji completely normal. Like, it's the closest he's had.
Relatively. Yes, exactly. It's at least consistent with the style of all of the other ones, and I love all of these. I love that. I can't tell that's supposed to be Shinobu, right?
Yes, that is Shinobu.
Supposed to be Nami. I couldn't. I was like, since she's the ninja protege, I couldn't tell. And then of course I love that we have Beppo on the side there too.
Just polar bear. It's like, get him.
Yes.
Oh God. And we check in on them, and honestly, I'll be honest. When I saw them, I immediately got a little suspicious of Beppo and all of them because, and Nami's all excited to see them because like, oh, I'm so glad I heard you were captured. It's like, yeah, we got lucky and escaped. I'm like, that's suspicious. What's up with that? Especially because they immediately like, hey, look at this. Before that daimyo named Yasuye died, we showed the riddle image to the people in the cell with us, and they're like, wait, they added 2 more lines on a stake. It's like, are they setting up to like actually screw them over or not? I was like, that feels so weird. But it's according to them, it's in Yasuye's final message.
Yeah.
The people want to understand it, and they got to pass it to Kinemon. So, if anything happens, we'll meet in Amigasa Village, and we get a slight flashback to the initial confrontation between Law and Hawkins. And basically, it's like, I got Law without a fight. Here's the lives of your crew. Get out of here. And Law himself says, do not tell the Straw Hat and the others that I've been caught. So
Law's got plans of his own.
Yeah. It's like he worked out something with Hawkins. The others got their lives back, and now Law's crew specifically needs to come up with a plan for how to rescue him. And you know what? I hope that gets some focus in Act 3 because, damn it, that crew needs some love if we're going to care about them.
They need a little bit of love. They've been kind of just running around a bit.
Yeah, they've mattered so little. Like, I love their designs. They stand out, but they don't do anything.
They don't. Yeah, for sure.
So, what are we going to find out? That's the question there. Then we go over to Ebisu Town where, gosh, there's something so morose about, holding on, like I've seen the wrapped corpse of Yasuie. Mm-hmm. That's so much more poignant, just to like.
Yeah, I feel like it makes it a little less. I feel like even with major character deaths in One Piece, I feel like there's always a layer of like abstraction to it.
Yeah, like they died. Like, there's their body, but then we leave the body for various reasons.
Right. Yeah, like Pedro blew himself up, right? And there's nothing left of that. But yeah, I like that they acknowledge that, like that Kanjuro is kind of left with this duty to bury Yasuie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I want to see Kanjuro's fighting ability because we have not seen it yet. Like, this guy's one of the Akazaya 9, and all we've seen him do is paint pictures, which has been helpful.
That is true,
but it's also like, what is going on?
Yeah, I guess that is sort of like if he is one of the Akazaya samurai, you're like, okay, so there's the implication that he's at least on the same level as all the rest of them, who have all been established to be very, very strong fighters in their own right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So. Yeah, they got the information. They're saying goodbye to everybody in Ebisu Town. And off they head out, and we see all the likenesses for Nami, Frankie, Shachi, Penguin. See all that.
Yep.
And we next check in on the dock. So here's the checkpoints. We got to examine you to see if they match these likenesses. Oda knew that face that he drew had become very popular at that point, because to see Usopp and especially Nami,
Robin,
or not Robin, not Nami, Robin put on that face again. Good God.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised even despite that, with the nose that Usopp is able to get through.
I know, because they still have the earbuds on him, but I guess the beard and the weird face, I guess does the trick.
It works. I love this cute little interaction where they're trying to find Otoko, and Brooks is like, she cried herself to sleep inside my robe, and Robin's like, here, I'll hold her. You don't have any body warmth. How I say. It's just a cute little panel of Robin comforting Otoko, which I thought was so cute.
A little bit more motherly, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, and not in a pervy way like with Momo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we need to actually comfort this child.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But Ashura, I need to start calling him. Not shooting tomorrow. He's finally full on Ashura now. He's abandoning.
I will probably flip flop.
Has revealed that he's been gathering ships. They need work, but they have ships that can at least make the crossing to Onigashima with a little help from Frankie. So
yeah, of course. Which again, I love that everybody's got their role, right? Mm-hmm. And I love the Dogstorm kind of ribbing him a little bit. I don't remember you being this thoughtful.
That's the crazy thing. We still haven't gotten Cat Viper back in the story yet. Where's Cat Viper?
Oh yeah. He's off on He's oh god.
Isn't he gathering allies elsewhere or trying? He was trying to recruit somebody. Was it Whitebeard?
It was Marco,
Pirates?
right?
Marco. Yeah, he was. That's the last we saw him. He was in the middle of trying to recruit Marco, but
that's right.
Marco wasn't coming, of course. So, be very curious. Like that. There's also the more mysteries because it's going to happen. When's Cat Viper returning to the story? When's Jinbei returning to the story? Which is always a question for the damn post time skip.
Well, it's been funny, especially as we're about to transition into the next scene, because it's like, we've had Big Mom running all over the place, and it's like, the last time we saw Jinbei was, leaving him off for that epic battle, and that we've just not even a mention of what happened to Jinbei after that.
Nope.
Which does feel a little bit like, what
happened there? But yeah, checking in on Onigashima, it seemed that Big Mom is awake, has the chains, but is gorging herself on desserts.
Yeah, well, and all the time, because all of the Animal Kingdom pirates guys, they're all like, it's still not enough. Still, she just wants sweets. Like, they're all freaking out. Even Kaido's big three, right? They're all looking and they're just kind of like, oh my god,
what the hell? Like, Jack seems legit afraid. That's the thing.
Yes, yeah.
Guy.
And even King, who he's like, I could have sworn I knocked their ship off.
And then Queen's just like, you did a piss poor job. Way to go.
Right. I mean, this is all kind of Queen's fault anyway.
It's like, why did you bring her here? It's like, well, I didn't have any signal to do now. What was I supposed to do? And that's, oh man, I love how Big Mom is just so threatening, giving up in chains, because it's just like, hey, King, I'll offer to forget what you did yesterday if you come and join us. There are still 3 races I don't have in my country yet. One of them might have been lost in the midst of time, but you're still alive. And he's like, I refuse. Like, what race is he not? Are those wings not part of his transformation as a pteranodon? That's interesting. Or what's his?
I would be more concerned about the fact that he's persistently on fire.
I guess that is a good point.
Which is definitely not part of the devil fruit.
Yeah, I kind of, because of the artwork and being black and white, I didn't always notice that's not hair.
But then again,
it's fire.
I don't think a pterodon or whatever wouldn't have like feathers, right?
True. Phoenix Man? I don't know. That's weird. That's. But that's, I don't know.
Which also, the implication, I'm kind of going to read between the lines a bit and say that one of the other 3 races are the giants that she's referring to.
One is definitely the giants. One is whatever King is. And I don't know if she's referring to the fact that he's lost in the midst of time, his race, or another one in addition to him. him.
It's another one.
Okay, and that's the crazy thing, because we've already found out that pudding in her 3 eyes is extremely rare.
Oh yeah, that's another special race. Yeah, which we're kind of slowly building that in.
Well, which
just adds to the extra intrigue.
Yes, it does. But yeah, she's like, well, whatever. In that case, just take off the cuffs. Like, Queen's me.
In what case?
No, you're nuts, hag. It's like, God, they're actually calling her a hag. I can't believe it. It's like, did you know?
No, these poor guys are just like, oh God. I feel a little bad.
That's when we get the information. It's like, hey, did you know that Big Mom and Master Kaido were in the same pirate crew? And that's when we get the Kaido showing up. It's like, what are you doing? Release her, not keep her bound up. Release her. And it's like, wait, what? So you've shown your face in here at last, Lin. And he's like, hey, he told you to let me go. And she's like threatening the guys near her.
Right.
It's like, no, he was joking. It's like, no, take him off. And she's stands up, and I'm sorry, people. I don't know how people can't put on the respect of Big Mom, because this is a woman who's been messed with for 100+ chapters, and she's still just in the act of standing up, taking out Napoleon, and facing off against Kaido. It's like, oh damn.
No. It's so sick, right? And I feel like that is an aspect of this like past stretch of chapters that I don't think I really appreciated the first time. Is like, no. We have to like establish like Big Mom is still like the second highest tier of threat, or like she is on a level equal to Kaido, right? Like she is on anybody like Queen or King or whatever. Like they are beneath her.
And that's the crazy thing to me, because basically the chapter ends with them getting into a duel, and everybody's like, we gotta evacuate. It's like, what a way to end that chapter, especially
and I love the cloud splitting again, which also happened when Shanks and Whitebeard fought.
It's always an epic moment whenever an emperor faces off against another.
It's always the emperors.
But yeah, Big Mom maintains that threat level. It's an awesome moment. And
which is, I feel like, is not easy to do. So I really do want to give Oda credit where it's due here for that. Yeah, because it would have been so easy to kind of like to treat her like a joke, and like she's hilarious, right? Like she is such a funny character, but at no point is her innate strength ever like undermined or kind of like the punchline.
Well, that's the thing, is that she immediately gets like any type of like idea that she was less of a threat compared to anybody else because of her losing her memory. She immediately gets it back within these panels, and it's just as much of a threat.
That's it.
And the thing that's exciting for me is I have no idea the fate of Big Mom over the course of this. I know Kaido is defeated. Like, he has to be because of the way you see certain things. Yeah. Kaido has to be defeated at some point. I have no idea what happens to Big Mom.
Where's so, and that's I feel like that is where, again, some of that, it's where some of the intrigue lies. It's how Oda is going to take us from point A to point B. And I feel like as we've been on the ride, ever since Big Mom arrived in Wano, it has been like one swerve after the next.
Very much so. Oh God!
It's an incredible ride.
Yeah, it is.
I really do have to just stop and appreciate how much Big Mom's role in this story arc just makes things so much more interesting than just like, all right, we fought Kaido, we lost, we got to work our way back up. So now this is now there are two of them.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, if it weren't for later in the set, you might think at this point maybe they'll just kill each other.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on? Yeah, if it wasn't for the later chapters, I'd be like, oh man, is it going to help weaken Kaido in some way or something like that, or is like one of them going to take out the other ahead of time? And nope, something else. But
yeah,
crazy. Before we move on to the next chapter, though, we do have an SBS. where a person asks, I really want to see Griffin's anthropomorphized version, the sword that Shanks possesses. I think it would be a really cool person. What do you think? And Oda says, oh, you want to see Shanks' sword Griffin, right? I'm very good at anthropomorphism. Just leave it to me. Here you go. And I'm going to send that picture right over to you.
Okay.
There's Griffin, the cool sword possessed by Shanks.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And it's looks like an old lady.
Yeah.
with stubble. It's not
sleepy.
impressive at all. It's like,
of course,
you knew what you were in for when you did that with it.
Forgot that Griffin was the name of his sword.
I think it was brought up at some point.
I don't think that was ever brought up in canon.
So I know it's SB. I think it was one of the SBSs that mentioned it.
Yeah. I would believe that.
Next,
not incredibly important, but it is. No. It is something that it made a scene in the anime more confusing for me because I forgot that Griffin was the name of the sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's something that the anime does that I was like, oh, okay.
Our next question says, in chapter 931, Soba Mask, Usopp and Frankie asked to be allowed to name Sanji's suit. I'm very curious what name you would give each of the Straw Hats, and if you could tell me what they're going to call it, that would be great. So, I think the way I'm interpreting that is here's what each of the Straw Hats would have named Soba Mask instead of Soba Mask. Luffy, Black, Mask, Mean. Which is a nice callback to, I forget what he was trying to call name before. They did individual words punctuated by exclamations.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
He did it once before.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna kill me.
Zoro would have named him Idiot.
Of course.
Nami would have named him Cape.
Okay.
Usopp would have named him Lightning Skyzer, Sky plus Kaiser, which
okay.
Not bad.
Doesn't really fit, but that's cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
It's a very middle school boy kind of name.
Robin would have named him Ominous Mask, which Chopper would have named him Go Get Them, Sanji.
Adorable.
Frankie would have named him Black Rolling Destroyer.
Okay, that's the best one so far.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like Lightning Skyzer, but... And finally, Brooke would have called him Enviable Man in Woman's Bathhouse.
Okay, yeah. A man of culture.
Yeah, exactly. And our last question for this SBS saying, when Reiju sucked the poison out from Luffy, the Straw Hats members put out their tongues and said, "Thank you for the hospitality. The action was so cute. I tried to imitate it, but it would be said to be more hospitality or more hospitality." How can I say? What? Sometimes the translations on this is a little weird.
I can see that they're struggling a bit. I don't know what they're trying to say with this.
Yeah, basically their question is, how can I say thank you for hospitality? And Oda says, well, in fact, I just omitted the scene of licking my lips in thank you for hospitality. And he has this kanji, so let me send that over to you because you actually know a little bit. But Hualin Sugar Sauce tried to say more DA hospitality. I hope you continue to work hard. I will definitely be able to say it one day. Just stick out your tongue and say, oh, I think it's just a challenge of how do you do it when you're trying to say thank you for hospitality with your tongue.
Okay, I think so. Yeah.
I think that's the joke.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out.
Yeah. That's a translation's an art, not a science, folks.
Yeah, that's ain't that the truth. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to our next chapter, 952, Hiyori and Kabumatsu. And I mean, there's not much going on, but I love the fact that you got Beige and I want to call it Lola, but it's not.
Chiffon.
Yeah. Like at the head of the ship, being like, "What my wife wants, I want. So let's go find Lola." So
this is already the best cover story.
Yeah, these two work so well as a couple. So much better as a couple. This is
going to be great.
Yeah, this is fun. So, yep. But we've arrived at the next day. So now we are officially at 1 week until the invasion.
Yep.
Until the operation. And Zoro has arrived at Bandit's Bridge in Ringo, and he's basically like, what is your deal? Are you friend? Are you foe? Who are you? Actually, he's being asked that, I think. It's because there's no speech bubble towards him. But
no, I think he's the one asking.
Oh, is he? I can't tell. It doesn't matter either. Either way, you can see either of them asking. Zoro wins. And is like just on top of him, has a sword at this thief's throat, saying, "Why do you keep stealing the weapons of people passing through? What are you trying to do with them? Give back my sword already! Don't waste your life for the sake of one measly weapon." And he's just to mention that weapon allows him to actually get out from under Zoro. It's like, no, you will not have that one, not that one, and. We get a little bit more detail. It's like the katana you had, Shusui, was a stolen national treasure of Wano. Its removal from our land was the start of all of our misfortune. That incurred the wrath of the god of the blade. And since then, each region suffered loss after loss until the country itself fell under enemy control. And, it's like, Zoro's like, what god? Like, what are you talking about? And that's when Kawamatsu shows up, is like, cease this fight. And he goes to attack Zoro, and Zoro just blocks it calmly with the back of his blade. He's like, Yeah,
well, it's funny that he calls him out. He's like, a samurai and a monk doing battle in this remote place. And yet neither of you is trying to kill each other. A farcical sight. And then, of course, because we've had Hiyori kind of watching off to the side, she's like, Kawamatsu, is that you? He's like, why do you know my name?
And here's something I did not put two and two together. Zoro goes, a fish man. I did not even think of him being a fish man. It's like, that's the explanation for why he's a kappa.
That is a detail I kind of forgot about.
That's kind of incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I should have realized because of the webbed fingers, but again, I thought it was just straight up Kappa Man, which I guess he is.
At this point in One Piece, right, you're just like, okay, that's just like what he is, You wouldn't really think to question it.
Not really. So, I mean, I like that Oda does have, like, it's a race that, Big Mom wouldn't try to get. It's like, it's just another fish man. So, we don't need all the varieties. But we actually already check in on, well, first of all, there's the I forget the, Gumurasaki or something like that.
Gyukimaru.
Gyukimaru. It seems to be pretty surprised to see, or at least hear Kawamatsu's name. But we leave that to check in on Onigashima as Kaido and Big Mom are still fighting, and the rest of the crew seems to be in a bunker hiding from that fight.
Yeah, and you can see this like parts of the ceiling crumbling down, and they're just what is this fight gonna finish? It's gone through the whole night. The island can't take it. And then I love this bit where some of these goons are like, should we actually evacuate to the mainland? And then Queen is like, what kind of idiot runs away when the boss is fighting? You clowns. Anyway, has there been any word yet from Udon? Still no connection on the smell. I'll go and check on them. Like, no fair, Master Queen. You're just gonna run away. It's like, what? I said check on them.
And he gets him on the phone, and he actually hears from Warden Babanuki, and it's like, oh, sounds like you got the smells working again. Yep. I took a lot of the men with me. You need any help? We can come back if you want. He's like, oh, he's looking for a heroic reason to leave Onigashima. And he's like, nope, no need for it now, sir. They turned him down. It's like, oh, we put Straw Hat Luffy and Captain Kidd and all the other eyesores into the cells to get them behave. I'm like, wait, why is Babanuki helping them?
Right.
So I actually was a little confused about that at first. There's no problems, and let there be more problems. Master Queen. It's like,
yes, Queen. He's trying to get out of here.
Yes. Oh gosh, but then we get her.
He's the one who brought her here in the first place.
I want out. I want out. This is too scary.
Yeah. Yep.
But we quickly are reminded about why this whole thing worked with Babanuki, because Tama able to take control of the
smile part.
Users, yeah, which
is just so overpowered.
It's funny that it's sort of like, I mean, barring the whole ethical divide of her having mind control over these people,
Yeah.
it's funny to see that it's very much like Luffy and Naru, where it just so happens that Luffy had that one devil fruit that hyper specialized against this other devil fruit. And that's the case with Tama, where she's just hyper specialized against this one, where she can get these smile fruit users on her side and work for them, and even gets a high five for them.
High five. It's so cute. And I don't know. I do think that the mind control thing is a little, like, a little creepy when you think about it. But I also think, all these smile users like basically poisoned the water supply.
True. They're not exactly good
of
people.
Wano in order to function. I feel like in terms of greater evil here, mind controlling these people for like a day or whatever it's fine. It's not a big deal.
And they all generally just seem happier.
They seem happier. Yeah. Like all these people were.
It would not work if Tama wasn't the age she was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, but Caribou is feeling pretty proud of himself. He's like, looky here. Everything's all hunky-dory. Now they think thousands of us prisoners are all locked up safe and sound. Wait till they get a load of us when we show up on the day of the big battle. So he's even planning on taking part. So it's like...
Yeah, all right. What are you going to do, Caribou?
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's like... There's like this weird friendship now between him and Raizo. Like, not a full... Like, I don't know, full on or anything like that, but...
it's all thanks to you, Caribou. That's right. You owe me one. I was like, oh, God.
And the prisoners now do have respect for Chopper because he has cured all of them of the virus. He's like, that was pretty simple to stop. Actually, I don't need any samurai debts. They were too heavy. And that's the thing.
We would give our lives to repay you.
I do want to mention something though that in the last discussion we were talking about and sort of mystified by. That gives Luffy's actions during that far greater weight, and it didn't clock at first when I read it, obviously, and that's that this is different. Luffy has poison resistance. This is not a poison. This is a virus. This is a different kind of warfare. He has
that's fair.
No natural, other than his just hardiness in general, aversion to a virus. So him taking that on is even more of a show of just how amazing he is than him like, I have poison resistance, I can take this.
Yeah. And I feel like it's something that it makes sense why we talked about it in the moment, but I feel like it would kind of undermine it. We'd be like, I'm not actually in that much pain.
Right.
It's another thing to be like, I'm going to take on all of this pain for all of you.
Mm-hmm. And we find out that Chopper's done a very good job because Luffy's already back at being healthy. Took a lesson a day.
All right, yeah, we're back.
We're good. Let's do this. And Hiro is just definitely back in his like health. He's looking already healthier. He's just in the boss mode. And he's like, all I had to do was bring out Lord Momonosuke, and now look how they trust him now. And that's when he gets referred to, and it's time for us to actually meet the other Yakuza bosses that were being talked about, the ones from every region. From Udon, Blood Riding Omasa. From Hakumai, Split Hat Sunagoro. From Ringo, Ocho the Battle Gourd. And from Kibi, Snake Eyes Yatape. Yatape?
Yatape. Yeah. Good close up.
Which, some interesting designs here.
They're all weird.
All of a sudden,
they're all...
what's his name? The head of the Yakuza right now that we've oh God, the one that fought Zoro was like, he's tougher than we thought.
Oh God,
Kyoshiro,
yes, Kyoshiro.
All of a sudden, his like that. Apparently, that's just the design you have when you're a Yakuza.
Yeah, that's true. It took me a second to realize. I don't think Tsunagoro has teeth, which is funnier because he's got something in his mouth, but it doesn't seem to be like held by anything.
He looks like a. He looks like a mop. He looks like a scarecrow or a mop.
Yeah. Either or.
We get their introduction, and old man Yo's just like, glad you're alive. He's like, you were worried about us? You got it backward. And Just we get to see their personality so much. Like they're definitely full of Yakuza stereotypes. It feels like
Very much so. Yeah. Well, the best part is they're like, we're gonna go round up all the traitors still hiding around the nation, and Luffy just laughs at him. He's like, these guys are intense. Look at Gramps. He's like the boss of them all. And they're like, Gramps, you're gonna pay the price. Yeah. How many you want, boss? Fingernails, pinkies, earlobes. Say the word. Just stop that.
They're getting ready to give him the full treatment.
You're right. Luffy somehow always finding himself in trouble.
But Yo stops him because of, he saved his life. He's like, all right, an act of mercy spared your stones today, boy. Let this be a lesson to mind your manners. It's like I care.
So, they're tough.
Yeah. And off they go. They're doing their own thing for now. We just get like, hey, here are the other bosses. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just all right. We got them, but they've been established, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. And this sort of kicks off the let's relay all this information over to Kinemon so we can, start coalescing plans. It feels like this is when we start hitting the.
It really starts to come
button.
Together. It feels like really fast.
Yeah. Because they're still waiting for Frankie to show up. And it turns out that the man Frankie was running all over for, trying to find the man from Curry who stole the plans to the mansion at the end of the trail, was Ashura.
Yes.
Ashura had got him.
Which I feel like is the perfect way to end that plot point of just running around and it was kind of hidden in plain sight.
And Dogstorm's still giving him crap. He's like, I don't remember you being soft. You said that already. So. And then of course he gets all the information from Raizo. It's like, hey, did you rescue Luffy Taro? It's like, oh, and much more. It would take too long to explain, but in brief. And Kenny was like, wait, what? You got 3,500 men and Luffy rescued and found Kawamatsu and released? It's like the labor camps were taken over. It's like that number's preposterous. How did releasing Luffy turn into all of that?
Yeah, it is funny to realize like all while this happened, they had no idea.
Oh gosh. It's again, it's the power of Luffy. It really does seem like that.
Look, we're taking our revolution very seriously this time, so we just are casually rolling up with an extra 3K to the head count.
Yeah, no big deal. And Raizo further reports like there are more of the soldiers to join us yet, but there is a problem. There are a number of weapons factories throughout Wano, but all of them are making weapons for export. And samurai, what they want most are swords and spears. But because of Orochi passing the order that the weapons having weapons in Wano is a crime, it's difficult to acquire. But if we do not have a blade for every warrior who wishes to fight, it will not be much of a battle. It's like, okay, we got to find katanas. So, okay, stay put for now. Let's assess our strength. Let's head to Amigasa village and make that our base. Let's get a detailed report and let's figure this out. So I like Kinemon the leader. Like it's funny. I still kind of view Kinemon as Momonosuke's dad, just because he does have that responsibility. We haven't really met Odin too much.
Yeah, it is funny in that way. And really, I feel like once we got back to Wano, he's been so much more in his element, and I that's on purpose, right? But we met him kind of as just like a bumbling fool for the most part. But now that
a man that talks out of his ass,
yeah, exactly, yeah. He still spoke to us through farts, but it is sort of cool seeing him as sort of like the revolutionary leader.
Mm-hmm. And we go back to Ringo on Bandit's Bridge. And Hiyori is just ecstatic that she finally has this reunion with Kawamatsu. And she's like, I never thought I would meet you like this again. And Kawamatsu's like, wow, to see you alive and well this way is the greatest gift I could imagine, Hiyori. It's like, oh yeah, she was raised by a Kappa. This is Zoro. And basically just saying, I'm so sorry for getting scared and running away from you. But when you kept giving what little food you could find to me, and I saw how you grew weaker and weaker over the years, I knew that you could survive on your own and trembled at the thought of you dying just because of me. So I was scared, and that's why I ran away. And Kawamatsu just smiles at her.
She's crying. Yeah.
Again, it's so funny to see like this hard ass like woman that'll just rip apart men, and she's just like this very traditional kind of goofy woman.
Right. Yeah. It's clear, especially now, right? That how much of that was like really just kind of a veil that she had to put up.
Extreme, very much so. So, he's like, oh, what a kind-hearted reason. That was why? Well, I can tell you that I put on quite a lot of weight thanks to that. It's like,
13 years of like rotten fish.
Oh, God. All of a sudden, more people show up and shoot our Gukimaru. And down he goes, like, wait, what's going on here? And these guys are for revenge. It's like, these magnums are for wild beasts. You're going to pay for stealing our weapons. So we're going to take them back. And Zora's just immediately like, wait. You can see he's like, well, that was an honorable duel. You guys have to go.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, both Zoro and Kawamatsu are, ready for action. And all of a sudden, that's when we sort of see Gukimaru kind of running off. And and he's saying, Master Kawamatsu, I'm so glad you're alive and well, which is,
there's a connection there.
Connection there, yeah.
But Kawamatsu does not recognize him, so that's quite interesting. So that's where our chapter ends. But we do have another SBS, and first up is: do men in Wano country wear a fundoshi under their kimono? And Oda goes, yeah, of course. And women wear a kind of feminine loincloth called yumoji. That's how they go in Wano. So,
yeah,
makes sense. Oda, do you still read all the postcards and letters yourself? Oda says, I read them all, and of course I will read them, and I never dispose of them over the course of 22 years. Because there's way too many of them, I can't store them in my house. So I borrowed a room, and all the letters that I have finished reading will be sent to that room. There is so much of them that one day the floor might fall off. Thank you. Those letters contain you guys' feelings in them, and so I won't throw them away. That's amazing.
That's incredible. That is dedication to your fans, man.
Oh, yeah. So many letters. Like, good God. Need a filing system for all of them.
Yeah, seriously. Is there a way to manage that? Can we get them scanned, digitally archived? I feel like those are I don't know. Those have like historical value now.
They do. I could see
cultural artifacts.
It's sad to think about, but if you can imagine, whenever Oda passes, which hopefully is a long, long time from now. You can imagine like a touring museum or even just an established museum. Like, here's the letters. Here's letters from fans over the years. How much this story meant to them, and I don't know. I feel like that'd be really poignant to see.
I think so. I agree.
But let's make sure we can build up that with 30 years and beyond of, of fan letters.
Keep going for as long as possible.
Yep. We don't need another far too early passing like Toriyama.
And so many other
others. God. Next question is, I noticed something. Hyogoro has flame-like hair like Koma Inu and Koma Shika, which means he's Koma Ningen. That right? So, Ningen being human. And Oda goes, well, yes, you are right. Well, okay, in that case, he's a Koma Ningen.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Sure. All right. What's Koma mean again?
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay. I know we got Koma Inu, so it's like dog.
Yeah.
Koma is.
Like all of the Wano animals are Koma animals.
Mm-hmm. And our final question is, the light that I'm going to extinguish, is it me? And Oda just goes, it's not, so please don't worry about it and continue with your life. And I hope everyone else can lead a happy life. SBS.
It took me... What? It took me a second to realize that was from the end of the reverie.
Oh, I misread that. The light that M's going to extinguish. I read that as I'm at first.
Oh, okay. I think that's their translation of emu.
Yes, it must be it because, God, stop being weebs. One Piece wiki.
No, I got my beef with the wiki. Everything's wrong. Not that anyway.
Right. At least go with the official localization source and have an alternative or something. Like, good God.
Yeah. It can be a little confusing sometimes. But
much.
yeah, that whole thing about extinguishing light. It's. I was just listening the other day to our Reverie episode again, and I was kind of like, man, this so bonkers.
Really.
It's just nuts.
I never re-listened, but I have very firm memories of most of it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. All right, let's continue on to chapter 953, Once a Fox. And, okay, we got off of Big Mom's ship. We've got our own. Let's go find Thriller Bark, because that's our best clue to where Lola might be. So we're not going to be very conspicuous with a Big Mom ship. So thank God for that.
Yeah, very much so. I'm already. I feel like this set for this cover story has moved way faster than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So I'm down for it.
The big question is, are they going to meet Moria, which I kind of doubt because he was with Blackbeard last. They're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah. So
I wonder if...
Which I guess begs the question, if they're trying to find Thriller Bark, like, is it still where it was?
Yeah, that's the thing. It shouldn't be.
Like
will they run into Perona or who knows what else? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious if because I don't remember much about where this cover story goes. If they go to Thriller Bark, I'm curious about like what the state it's in.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess we'll see. Because he brought Moria brought Thriller Bark with him to take on Blackbeard. So I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But we begin the chapter itself with the letter from Hiyori before she ran off from him, and God, that's just the tears on his face, the way he's like crying out so much more. It's just like the heartbreak on this man. It just gets to you. It's like
it really, really does. It really shows just like how much of a heartfelt reunion it was. And I feel like, again, we were talking, at the start of this episode about like kind of wrapping up the things that, all kind of, crossing our T's and dotting our I's. I feel like this relationship between Hiyori and Kawamatsu is one of those things.
And it's so poignant that it's him looking in on a happy family at the bath, kids running and playing in the flower capital, him alone in the rain. God,
right, like of all of the Akazaya samurai, right? Like that Kawamatsu is, like Hiyori's like father figure, basically.
Mm-hmm. And it gives such Tin Soldier vibes, except he lost his, and it's just like, oh God. Oda had to be a father at this point because he knows how to drive that stake.
I feel like so many stories from this point on, it's all dads. It's all dads all the way down.
I get it. But we go back to the present as Gyukimaru is running through a dilapidated village, and Zora's just commenting about, man, this guy doesn't give up even with his wounds. Where am I? Well, at least I can keep following these bloodstains and not actually get lost. And he just says, huh? And that's all we see is because we go back to Kawamatsu and Hiyori, and they've
of course all the baddies are just done.
Yeah, like they were going to put up a fight.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we gotta move from here. I cannot believe they are still hunting more remnants. And who was that enormous warrior monk? So he doesn't even know who he is, but even though Gyukimaru seems to recognize Kawamatsu. And he immediately goes back into dad mode. It's like, do watch your step in the deep snow. It's like, excuse me, I am not a child anymore. Oh, is that so? But a grown-up woman does not puff out her cheeks like a blowfish. It's like,
this is adorable.
I love this relationship between the two of them. And
yeah,
I'm willing, like, okay, give Kawamatsu that extra shine.
Because we just got introduced to him, and it already feels like he is kind of getting the most characterization out of a lot of the characters we've met in Wano so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it helps that it's kind of just the observer, the quiet one, the contemplative one, the caretaker. Those are very easy traits that you can pass off very quickly.
Oh, yeah. He's not the despite how cool his entrance was, he's not like the bombastic one,
No. And he's not like the former thief or have the hit hard by all of this and not having like a one set thing. It's like, hit hard by trying to rebel. It's taking care of a very specific person. So
he's been chilling. My man is enjoying his freedom.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go find my daughter and we're going to go take a walk. And I'm like, yes.
Especially because he says, after you vanished on me, I found a foolish reason to come to this place. And it's like, oh, I need to slip my stomach for allowing harm to come to the princess. I'm choosing this location to do it. So that's why
Jesus
he showed up
Christ.
here. Like, that's how bad it was that he lost sight of Hiyori. And really shows that he did not come here knowing Hiyori was here. He did not come here knowing Gukimaru was here. He was here for some other reaon. That he chose to come here after getting out of prison. So we're actually going to learn more about this area in Ringo. It's overseen, it's the neighboring territory of Hakumai. The northern land of Ringo was overseen by the Shimatsuki clan, famed for their hardiness. The daimyo's name was Shimatsuki Ushimaru, who is also the name of that thief we've been hearing about, I believe. No, that was Ushimitsu.
Oh, no. Yeah, Ushimitsu Kozo's the thief.
Oh, Ushimitsu Kozo. Oh, okay, my God. Too many Ushis and stuff. Ends with Maru and Mitsu and...
Yeah. It's so Japanese. But, of course, the Shimotsuki name is, of course, blah, 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 Zoro's village, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right, yeah. So there's a connection there. Yeah. But Kaido saw...
If I dare so say, the silhouette kind of looks like Zoro.
Kind of does. And apparently always traveled with a fox companion. But Kaido saw to it that Ringo did not escape destruction either. And we learn about the custom of eternal graves in Ringo. And she's like, yeah, it's where the land is so cold that bodies and coffins will remain preserved for centuries. And yeah, that's right. Their locations are marked by their katana stuck into the ground. Some of those blades naturally are of legendary make, so grave robbers are a constant problem. This is one of the facts of life in Ringo. And then we have a bit of a flashback where, talk about a callback to way early into One Piece. I forget the little dog's name, but, I'm protecting this place that I've been tasked to keep an eye on for hell or high water as we got this fox keeping grave robbers away. So
yeah, and well, this being that Kawamatsu rolling in is like, can a man not be allowed to die in peace and quiet? So this is the place where he's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, and he's like, wait, aren't you Onimaru? This Koma fox. So, what's Japanese for fox?
Kitsune.
Yeah, oh God, I'm glad they went with Koma fox instead of Koma Kitsune because God, that would be a mouthful.
Yeah, it is that did stand out to me because I think with the dog they did call it a Koma Inu. I think.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so sometimes they're Japanese, sometimes they're in English, which is funny.
Yeah, it's like. Depends on what we got to do, how much we're going to focus in on this character. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But this was the companion to Ushimaru, and it's like, oh, I have met you once before, and well, this thing has some arrows sticking out of it, so it's not doing so well, and it passes out. So
yeah,
time for dad mode to kick in. It's like, wait, do you mean to tell me you've been guarding this all on your own? And yeah, for over 5 years after Ringo's downfall, Onimaru fought the grave robbers all alone. When the people of Ringo were born, they were gifted a katana. They live with their katana and use it as a grave marker when they die. And here's Kawamatsu raising Onimaru back to life. It's like, hey, folklore says foxes love fried tofu, so here you go, and you should eat because your wounds aren't going to heal, and how are you going to protect your master's grave if you're dead? So. There's a bond being formed.
This backstory kind of got me. I'd kind of forgotten the details of a lot of this stuff, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for the taking care of an animal, and having already established that like Kawamatsu has already lost the one thing in his life that he had lived for, and so now it is at that point that this adorable little fox comes into his life.
But he also finds another purpose because the fox immediately starts yipping at him. It's like, don't raise such a fuss. Forgive me, because he's using a pickaxe in the snow. I know what I'm doing. And the fox like bites his arm.
He's bleeding out.
It's like, get off.
He's like, how am I supposed to explain this to a fox?
It's like, I have no desire to disturb the sleep of the dead either. But 13 years hence, so this is 7 years he's been on his own, like this before he got captured. So only 7 years of taking care of Hiyori. But he knows in 13 years there's going to be another great war. The day will come when the samurai of the nation stand tall and proud again. And when that happens, we will need a great number of swords. In battle, when your companion dies before your eyes, you take his sword and continue onward. The soul that resides in a katana makes a samurai strong and enables him to destroy his enemies. This is still a battlefield. The battle between the Animal Kingdom pirates and the land of Wano is not yet finished. It is too early to let these swords sleep. We cannot allow them to be stolen by thieves before the coming day, and I'm going to retrieve them all and hide them before that can happen. This is the one mission that I can be allowed to have. I may have failed to protect Lady Hiyori, and he's crying at this point, but I can at least do this. And all the while, Onimaru is just digging into his flesh and biting and fighting.
Yeah. It really, like, one, the thing that kind of stands out to me is that, like, Kawamatsu just completely, believes in the prophecy, right? Like there's like, okay, yep, 20 years from now, got it. There is no, it's just like, I'm going to do what I can to prepare for that day. They're like, there's not even a moment of hesitation of like, I don't even know if this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And God, the way, the dedication to it is like, I have to do something for or else my conscience is going to destroy me. So if you're hungry, just take my arm and rip it off already. I don't care, but I will not stop robbing these graves. And he's just breaking down, crying at this point. And Onimaru lets go and actually licks his wounds and kind of watches over him as he digs up all these swords. And then all of a sudden, Onimaru starts helping him, helping to dig up all the swords. It's like, do you understand what you're doing? And all right, let's dig underground to hide the swords. And that's how they spend their days, is in the snow, ransacking graves and getting a stockpile of katanas for the coming war. And that's
which is when it dawned on me, is like, oh, we need swords.
Yeah, we
swords,
need
you
swords.
say.
And what do you Kawamatsu's doing this? It's like, again, it's another example of Oda mastering the short backstory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you don't need a whole lot of time dedicated to him and Hiyori, but you are introducing this Fox character, and he's like having more of that bond, but also building up towards stuff that's going to help the present, and show that his efforts were worth it. So, it's cool to have Kawamatsu be a character who thinks he failed, but in the time to come, no, he did. He was key.
Yeah, and I love that so much about Wano is like how the actions of people are kind of building up on each other, right? Like just like what one person's decision can have all of these kinds of like lasting not consequences, right? But like they kind of everything kind of builds on one another, right? Like like all of this would not have happened if not for Lady Toki sending them into the future. I'm juggling all the characters' names. Yasuie's sacrifice and things like that, right? Yeah. Like it is, everybody is doing their part. Everybody has just like, even if it's just you were doing one thing just to advance the cause, that one thing, even 13 years later could have a great impact.
Yeah. And we end off the flashback with Kawamatsu chasing off actual grave robbers and donning the name Yukimaru of Bandit's Bridge, which is quite interesting.
I feel like knowing where this goes, it is interesting kind of the way the seeds are being planted, which has a really cool resolution.
Yeah, it does. He's like, well, after doing some time of doing that, I went to the capital for one of my trips to acquire food and found myself unable to return for certain reasons. And even Hiyori's like, Yukimaru, is that a coincidence? Strange. And they caught him because he was a fried tofu thief, and he got sloppy. So
because he was trying to feed Onimaru.
Yep. And that's why he came here. He wanted to check on Onimaru, how he's been doing after these 13 years. He's like, I'm sure he grew disillusioned with me after I did not return. It's been 13 years. I can't imagine I would see him here, but hopefully if all the swords we hid together still remain, and we can at least arm a few hundred warriors. And that's when they come across Zoro, and he's like, okay, the guy vanished but left his door open. What's that mean? Should I chase him or not? And wait, this is the underground passage we made, and we go in, and it's revealed that we have swords. We have a lot of swords.
you
want
all
the swords.
We got them. Yeah. But it's cool that he gives Kinemon a phone call and he's just like, I'm so glad you're alive, Kawamatsu.
It's like, you can relax. We can recruit thousands of soldiers with enough katana for every last one of them. Is that true? Send some men according to the following directions. But why are there so many now? Was it Onimaru? No, this had to be human work. And that's when we check in on this Gyukimaru, who then transforms back into Onimaru.
Mm-hmm.
And duh, it was okay. It turns out it was the fox.
Yes, and I love that little music note as he's walking away. He's still bleeding out, but he's proud of himself. He's happy.
Yeah, I want a reunion. They need to have a reunion. Like, damn it.
It's such an effective, just like tight one chapter little story. I'd completely forgotten that Gyukimaru was actually the fox. So seeing that just kind of all come back around, I thought it was just really, really heartwarming.
Yeah, I did not. For whatever reason, I did not expect Gyukimaru to be a fox. So that's
right. But it makes sense, I feel like in Japanese folklore, like foxes, they tend to be mischievous and they can transform and things like that.
Mm-hmm. But we end off the chapter by Hiyori saying, "Hey, Zoro, if your sword really is the legendary Shusui, you need to return it to Wano." It's like, no, it's mine. It's like, no, I will give you another in return. The katana I received from my late father. The sword is called Enma. It's a legendary katana, the only one to have ever wounded Kaido. It's like, oh, damn.
All right.
Oh.
It took us a little while, but you wanted to talk about upgrades for Zoro.
It's weird to think that this Enma is actually more powerful than Shusui.
Right. Well, if it's one that Odin had, then, it certainly...
But I guess nobody else wielded Shusui, so hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah. So I feel like that implication of what Odin must have been like.
Oh God. Very curious about that. I'm sure we'll get that full backstory of Odin at some point. So much to see.
To see.
Let's just get to that next chapter. 954, like a dragon given wings, and time for the Beige family to get past the red line, especially with the reverie. Not much time has passed. The reverie is still going on.
Still happening. Yeah. So it's a little bit busy at the moment. I love their makeshift Jolly Roger. He's just Beige. He's got a little drawing of the tank form. He says, "I love family." It's perfect. It's so good.
This is never again would have thought this would have been Beige's characterization after Into the
Yeah.
Where he was the maybe up there with one of the seemingly least important because he's an older man, so it's like okay, he's not gonna be as important as the others or anything like that. But Oda found this fun characterization for him because Oda likes his old men. Don't know how he feels about his middle-aged men.
Yeah, but he loves gangsters.
That is true. He does love gangsters.
He loves the mob. He loves the Yakuza, all that stuff.
He probably plays the Yakuza games if he has the time.
I would not be surprised.
Into the chapter itself, we're back with still in Ringo, with 7 days to go until the raid on Onigashima. The samurai have acquired a huge stack of katana, and Kamawatsu's like, no, don't give up your memento of Lord Odin, and that's crazy. He's like, no, he was a swordsman who wielded 2 full-size swords. On the day before his execution, he entrusted one of his swords to my brother and one to me. My brother was given the Ame no Habakiri, and I was given Enma. Both are katana of very fine make, forged by 2 famed bladesmiths of Wano. And Kawamatsu's like, yeah, that's why you don't give it to him. You cannot let some strange man from who knows where lay his hands upon Odin's precious swords. Like, does nobody want me to just give me a sword? I just want a sword.
Well, yeah, give me a sword or not, right? And it's very funny. It's like, you got to pick one, right? Like, it's either Shusui or this. And I love, he's like, I do not know how Shusui, of Ryuma, god of the blade, fell into your hands, but it is considered a sacred treasure in this country, and its theft was a national tragedy. And so I was like, I guess Moria stole it. It's funny how much that little detail has just like come to bite him in the butt. Pretty much immediately once Zoro got into Wano, it's just like, well, he's. What? I don't know. It would be like walking around with like a copy of the Constitution.
I guess so. It's one of those things where he got the sword. It was a big deal because it's Ryuma's sword, but then it just sort of fell into the background. It didn't really seem to matter. Kind of like how when he first got his other blade, it was like, this is a cursed blade, and he did his arm check.
Yeah, it was a cursed blade.
Like, I'll take it, and just like it's a big deal when he gets it, but then it sort of fades into the background, and and now it has a bit of importance, but I don't know.
I do like that
I don't know how I feel about losing Shusui.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense that. If it is of such historical importance, they probably should have that back.
Yeah. It's for the best,
Right? We're fighting to liberate Wano. That we should at least, and we got to undo the bad thing that Moria did. Well, and it's funny too that I don't know. Zoro feels very like, I guess if you're gonna give me a replacement, maybe. And he's like, well, I did share combat with Ryuma, or at least his corpse. He's like, all right, I'll return it, but you got to give me, let me visit his grave later. Kamatsu's like, his flight's of fancy no bounds. Are you sure he is sound of mind? Because it's like, yeah, if you're talking about this, I don't know. Again, it'd be like.
You fought the zombie of Ryuma? That's impossible. Like, are you crazy?
It would be like, yeah, man, I fought George Washington and took his gun. I don't know. Like, yeah, like if somebody rolled in and said that, I'd be like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you've lost your mind. But time to check in a very interesting aspect of this set, where we go to the Flower Capital, and the Samurai of Rosetsu have still not been released. And we check in on Law and Hawkins, and Law has apparently defeated him in some way, like in the jail.
He turned the tables.
I guess
and he got him to release his crew, and it's like, all right, I guess. I'm wondering, like, did a fight happen? I'm kind of like,
I mean, it had to. Look at Hawkins. He's split up.
Yeah, he's bloodied.
He's bloodied, and his torso is disconnected from his legs. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. There. I missed that detail the first time.
I did too, but I saw it here. It's like, oh, geez.
Yeah. Okay, so Law won.
Yep, Law won that. Hawkins not doing so well when he can't just sacrifice lives, or maybe he Law still won that fight because he can't kill him, but he doesn't have to kill him. He just has to beat him up, and doesn't kill him to slice him up and not He's not dead. He's not hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's just incapacitated. So I never thought about that. But Law would win that fight. Although they seem to be in a torture room. So I don't know exactly when this took place.
You're right.
Either way, he does ask about the alliance between Kid and Apu that he had. And he goes, no, we were tricked, betrayed. Scratchman Apu was in Kaido's employ all along. That monster Kaido said to us, I will gladly take you if you agree to join me. He is always in search of mighty soldiers. It is how he will build his almighty army, and my chances of victory in that situation were 0. And he was constantly doing his cards for how much of a percentage chance he had on things. A chance of successful escape, 0%. Chance of survival upon surrender, 40%. Did not have any other choice. But Kid and Killer were different. They stood up to and fought until they could fight no longer. And we saw the results of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaido will not kill men of such strong disposition. He will attempt to break their spirits so that they obey him. So,
which lines up with what we've seen so far.
Yeah. I cannot imagine Kid will ever submit. He will die. They tell the rest of his crew, do this and that, or your captain dies, and they have become Orochi's pawns. So
we haven't even seen him.
No, we haven't. And that's when he breaks it down. The 4 emperors are different creatures from you and I. Ordinary logic does not apply to them. But your alliance with Straw Hat seems to be going well. And now that you've come happily into Wano, has your opinion changed at all? What are they setting up for there? It's like, is he making him question whether he trusts Luffy or not? But I feel like Law should
at this point. Yeah, right.
There's no reason for him not to trust Luffy. He helped him defeat Doflamingo.
Yeah. I think he's kind of... Yeah, his response to that question is really fascinating, and it just seems like, the way that he leaves it, he's like, if letting me walk is part of your plot, then consider me a willing participant, which feels like we are like Hawkins. I don't know. He's such a fascinating character in this situation because I feel like, because you kind of clocked it, that like he has his ulterior motives. I feel like we kind of got that confirmed here, but it's also like he is in such an impossible situation that there's not really anything he can do about it. So I feel like him letting Law walk is just kind of like, all right, like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
See what you can do about it. I've seen what the card said, and it's not looking good.
Yeah. I do wonder is the shadowy figure supposed to be, I don't think the shadowy figure is supposed to be Hawkins though, because he seems to be outside the cage as he steps out, and this person just seems to be silently watching Law. So Law got away, but hasn't rejoined the rest of his crew, so they're still wanting to get him. So I think that might be Drake. That'd be my best guess, is that Drake somehow recaptured him.
I could see that.
Yeah, or somebody.
Actually, that would make a lot of sense. Because now looking at this, just like from
there's no reason that Law should not have rejoined his men. Now that he's got them, that they're free to let go, and he's saved himself. But this is also, he has his hat. I guess my guess is that this took place after he was captured initially. Hawkins decided to free him, but I guess Drake might not be as into that. I don't know. It's curious.
Yeah, I'm curious about this whole section with Law. I think is super fascinating because I kind of don't remember much about it.
Where is he at
like
this
what it's setting up and where it goes. Like I know where it ends up, but kind of how we get there, I'm unsure about.
Yeah.
So that's something to look out for.
For sure. But we're checking on the excavation labor camp, and it's time for Luffy to get that training with Hyo because here is Kaido's skin. I want you to recall your utter defeat. Recall how all of your strength amounted to nothing. We don't have time. The enemy is a monster, but you can do this. And the prisoner watching is like, man, he's pounding that steel like it's gelatin. And now it's like full on countdown. It's like 5 days until the raid. It's like, time to do the speed run strategy of covering training montages so we don't get everything revealed.
Yeah,
we just know what he's working toward.
All right, Luffy, you trained for a whole week.
And Kinemon is, of course, arranging everything. They get the news that there's been an alteration to the riddle image you hold. Yasuie's message is to add 2 lines to the stomach of the Viper. So we check in on the ship team, and it's like, 2 lines, I got it, I understand now. And Usopp and Frankie are leading the crew and to repair all these ships and get them back into shape. Hiro is part of the weapons prep team. And Katana Retriever team with Ringo. You see some of the Yakuza there.
The Yakuza. Yeah, they're all reacting to the riddle, and they're like, yes, very clever, Lord Yasue. Like, I get it. So yeah, even the Nami's like, I'm kind of impressed that everybody figured it out right away. So, so what does that mean? That the Viper has 2 extra lines, like Wiper? Like, yeah, I remember Wiper.
Yeah, I remember. He was cool. He was spelled with a Y though, but either way.
Yeah.
So he's like, this would not make sense unless you know the names of Wano's ports. The drawing of a pit viper, or Habu, indicates a destination of Habu Port, but 2 legs have been added to it. Each part of Wano has a name that suggests a different animal. By attaching legs to the viper, it becomes a lizard, or Tokage. And there is a Tokage port in Udon. By cleverly altering the meeting place of the plan to keep the details away from our cunning foes, Lord Yasue was able to ensure our raid continues all in one clean stroke. Dude was a boss.
How genius, right?
Holy crap.
So simple, but so like, again, it really is going to show like in one fell swoop, he saved the plan.
Yeah. And Robin's still impressed. Looks like she's still comforting Toko. Like she's been crying for days.
Yeah, it's adorable. Thank you, Robin.
And there's just like, we required his help to our savior until his dying moment. And we'd be shamed to make this count. And it's like, we've got to remember that he wanted us to be the guardian deities of all of Wano. And we see now that they've all reunited. Like, every group is
everybody's here.
Yeah. With the separation has ended. We see Zoro there with everybody. And it's a cool moment. Of course, Luffy's still away training. Like, he is very much focused. There is one job Luffy has, and it's, well, let's be honest, it is the most important job.
Yeah.
But hey, there's still problems to be conquered, but with all your help, we are accumulating manpower at an ideal rate. But we still have not found Denjiro, and that's a good, interesting thing. Is like, where is this Denjiro? I have no clue.
Still got one left. We don't even know if he's alive.
Yep, but we do have 7 of this Akazaya 9. We're just need to find this Denjiro and wait for Cat Viper to show up.
Yep.
So we might actually reach the goal of 5,000 men. So let's begin the strategy meeting. So here's how it's all going to break down, at least as far as initial. It's like, actually, I don't know if this is not the strategy meeting. This is just the narrator being like, scenes. Hey, there's 2 ways to get into Wano. You can either be pulled up by the koi fish or split a waterfall and pass through the caves. Naturally, there's no safe passage without the permission of Kaido and Orochi. And at the end of the cave is Mogura Port. From there, a gondola will haul up the crew and the cargo. And upon reaching the top of the shaft, you will find yourself in the domain of Hakumai. And that's when it's finally time to see Apu here. His crew has returned, and we've learned that he is absolutely working with Kaido. So,
yep. He was in on it from the start.
Is this our first? Is he actually going to be against Kaido though? Because so far, every time it's like, oh, they've teamed up with this guy, they haven't teamed up with this guy. But for whatever reason, I can believe Apu does. Like that.
We don't know that much about him at this point, so it very well could be the case. I don't know. It's like, oh, if you're another supernova trying to take down an emperor, like, join the club, buddy.
Yeah, because they did a good job of convincing us that Beijing actually did join up with Big Mom, and then we saw what happened with that. So I don't want to completely write off Apu, but I also said, like, he seems like the type of character that would, because we honestly haven't even seen much of him.
Yep.
I don't know. But he's dancing, and he's like, he's contacting Kaido's like, hey, why have you come back before the party? He's like, oh, of course we have. It's the annual Golden Festival. I'm not going to get left out of all the fun. It's going to be a lively one this year. So let's do it. And the kids are watching. It's like, let's get out of here. We don't we should not be here. It's like, what is that? And we have found out that the numbers have returned, who are coming to this party. It's like, and the Queen's like, I hate those guys. They're such messy drunks. And we see the numbers, and they look like giant demons.
They really do. They've all got horns. They've got a tongue sticking out. One of them's got a giant club. Like, it really does feel like, oh, the monsters are here. And, you were talking about like, we're about to fight Kaido's crew, but we've kind of met most of them. It's like, okay, this is how we kind of fill up the numbers a bit.
More villains for the heroes to fight. We got these.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have a big war coming up, and it's like we have more named characters on the side of the protagonists than the antagonists on this side. So this is one way.
Yeah, but the numbers are the least of our worries, because we next see Kaido and Big Mom happily drinking together. They're celebrating, and the Queen's just like, how'd they go from a death match to being friends? And they declare the Animal Kingdom Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates are going to be performing a pirate alliance. And once we work together to take over the world, then we can finish our fight to the death. So it's like, all right, we're going to take over the world, and then we're going to fight. So, oh no. Like, this is probably the single biggest crap of the entire plan being messed up.
The worst case scenario, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like where this is going, you can kind of see, I feel like in a potential, like, oh, if they've teamed up, and obviously we're gonna have to take down Kaido, and now that Big Mom is kind of on his side, you kind of see where Oda's going with this, in theory, at least.
It's I think the idea of pirate alliances is definitely going to be at the forefront. Like which pirate alliances are the strongest? I think is going to be a big question of all of that. But the other question is, who fights Big Mom? Is Luffy fighting both Big Mom and Kaido? Or is something else going to happen that Big Mom does, like, turns against Kaido or once again, or something else? I don't know.
All in due time.
Oh man, I don't know.
I do also love on the announcement, that they're going to be joining forces. I love the little Onigashima in the background is like it's surprised and it's like crying. The island itself is like, oh god.
I am just flabbergasted, like, oh god, like it's like, because you do get the sense like, all right, we're building up, we're getting things ready, it's all good to go, we got all these men, we're getting close to where we need to be, and they don't know we have certain victories under our belt, and then like, oh no, here's numbers, oh no, Big Mom's part of everything, this is a problem.
I would also like to remind the audience of, again, talking about like how are they going to handle fighting two emperors at the same time? And we saw what happened. Like, Big Mom slapped Luffy into a wall.
Yeah, but I feel like if they have to fight both, either Big Mom gets taken out way earlier than Kaido, or she's not fought at all, or and by way earlier I mean by Luffy, or one of the other crew gets to fight Big Mom and has to take her down. Or it's one of those things where multiple of them team up in order to take her down. And you know who I kind of hope is the one who gets to fight Big Mom?
Let's hear it.
It probably doesn't work because there's already a match before, but I want a rematch and I want to see how it actually goes. I want to see Brook take her down.
Oh,
I think that because he again, there's natural devil fruits that go against others, and with his ability for soul command, I think makes for
that does feel a little bit unresolved, doesn't it?
It does. Like there feels like there's a little bit of a rivalry there between Brook and Big Mom. So
yeah. Sure.
I don't know if it'll happen, but also Nami has a reason. Like Nami versus Big Mom could also have potential because of
existing character relationships. That also friggin' but assuming Jinbei comes back at some point, he'll certainly want to take a swing.
It might be a whole party thing. I don't know, especially because
I was gonna say I feel like, but with both of these, like we saw like at the end of Whole Cake, where it really was, it felt like Nami and Chopper and Brook and Jinbei all having to 4v1 Big Mom. So it, like the idea that like, do you even need can you even fight these guys one-on-one?
I don't know. But that's all the more exciting because
how these things will end up going, and how the matchups will end up settling out.
We have like 90-ish chapters to go with this. Like, good God.
Yes. Yeah. It's oh boy. The setup now that we've kind of gotten the basics of it, I'm like, all right, now we can finally start talking about where things are going to go now that we have the baseline of, yes, Big Mom and Kaido are now teaming up.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Before we get to our final chapter for the set, we do have another SBS. And first up is, hey, Oda, is the teacher who could extend her neck an ability user, or was she actually from a different species? So we did talk about like the teacher that could be undercover, like she has a long neck. Is like, oh, I wonder if she's important now. And he goes, there was someone like that, wasn't there? You're talking about Sarahebi Sensei, excuse me. She's very popular amongst the children who she frequently teaches, but she tells them about the terrible things supposedly done by the Kozuki family, twisting history and filled with lies. She's an underling of Orochi and Kaido, after all, so she isn't the best teacher. She ate the snake smile fruit, so her neck is that of a snake. Oh, that's... Honestly, she got it pretty good for a smile fruit.
Yeah, right.
Next question is, hey, I know it's a lot, but could you tell the best flower and animal that represents each of the worst generation? And Oda just goes, all right, coming right up. I don't know very much about flowers, so don't look too deeply into my choices in the language of flowers. So the flower and animal associated with each member, or each of the worst generation. Luffy, sunflower, and monkey. Duh. Kid, tulip, and fighting bull. Okay. Law, queen of the night, and a snow leopard. Snow leopard makes complete sense. I think that's even what they had him be as an animal for that series. Blackbeard, red spider lily, and hippo.
I think red spider lilies, symbolize death, I'm pretty sure, in Japanese culture.
Interesting.
I see it a lot in media.
I'm not sure on that one. Zoro is wisteria and shark. Killer is snowdrop and weasel. Which,
okay.
All right.
Probably because sickle weasel.
Oh, that makes sense. Hawkins is black lily and horse, and considering how much we've seen him ride on a horse throughout this entire arc, that works.
Sure, yeah.
Bonnie was a freesia and a deer. Beige is a rose and a koala.
Okay.
Sure. Rouge is a daisy and an elephant, which I get elephant, yeah.
You could tell me anything about him and I'll believe it.
Yeah. Apu is a poppy and an orangutan, and Drake is a gentiana and an allosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yep.
All right. Nothing too crazy there. So let's go ahead and get to our final chapter for the set, 955, Enma. And I don't think they've crossed the red line yet, so they're stocking up on food first. Or maybe they have crossed the red line because that's a completely different ship they're on now. So time is passing.
Yeah, no, this one's flying.
Yeah. They got to show them that, okay, they are making progress.
Yeah. I feel like Thriller Bark is a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta move it.
I guess so. But we get into the chapter itself, and Hiyori is of course worried for Toko, but she's gonna not meet the others because sentiment is forbidden before battle. So she does a little traditional begging pose and things like, please join your strength with the others and find a way to protect Wano. And she's like, of course, Wakamatsu's like, princess, get up, please. I can't, you can't do this to me. And he's the one that reports that Hiyori is still alive. And they're all like, wait, and the little tomboys learned to speak and act so finely. And this part cracked me up. Apparently she was just a wild child. She is grown indeed. Knowing that you've been captured, Kawamatsu, we all simply assumed the worst and dared not to ask. So where is she now? Is she guarded? It's like, no, she's in a safe place. Oh, thank God. It's like, and then Momonosuke has a memory. It's like, big brother, she flying kicks him in the back of the head.
Kicks him in the face. Yeah, it's hilarious.
What a different Hiyori that we know is like.
Yes.
Oh, so you rescued her, Zoro. I mean, you're dead. She's rough and tumble, but at her core, she's soft and quick to tears. Zoro's like, hey, Momo, you got to get your mind out of the past. She's 18 years older than you now. And she's like, oh, geez, a flying kick from someone 18 years older? That sounds dangerous. I'm like, oh, kid, you have no idea what you're in for.
Oh, buddy.
Maybe she still, honestly, it'd be really funny if she still did that when they reunited.
That sounds like something that should be paid off.
Yeah. And that's when Sanji realizes, like, wait, was she the babe I saw you with? It's like, Momonosuke, what can I do for you, buddy? Oh gosh, but our Tenguyama is back, and he's basically like, all right, are you sure about this, Kawamatsu? He's like, yep, we already cleared it up. All right, so this is Hitetsu the Second. It was confiscated from Luffy Taro and Udon. So Luffy finally gave up his sword,
which turned out to be Kitetsu the Second of all things.
Yes. And it's like, the boy took it from me without permission. So it was a named sword. And, Tenguyama probably introduced himself as Tenguyama Hitetsu, a katana blacksmith of Wano. For 20 long years, I've been waiting for the opportunity to bequeath these swords to you two. Lord Odin's swords, Ame no Habakiri, that cuts down the heavens, and Enma that splits the earth to the bottom of hell. Both are held among the 21 excellent grade swords along with Shusui. So excellent is like the top of the top, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember the exact ranking anymore because it's been so long since it last came up. But it would make sense that these are basically the best of the best.
Yeah, along with Shusui. So it's nice that Enma is equal to Shusui at the very least.
Equal, but
yeah. And so, he asks, what shall I do with my masterpiece, Lord Momonosuke? It's like, and Momonosuke immediately turns into his dragon form. He's like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not afraid, but keep it for now. Momonosuke has some growing up to do, it seems still.
Definitely. I mean, hey, it's his father's memento, right?
True. And of course he hands over Enma to Zoro. So he's like, but I will warn you, before or after, only one man has ever tamed Enma, and that man was Kozuki Odin. So here, cut down one of those trees to get to test its edge. And Kinemon is just like, hey, I say this only out of kindness, but I would not accept that sword. And Zoro just cuts off the entire end of the cliff.
Yes. It's like, yeah, cut down one of those trees. And then the most fascinating part about it is that after he cut it, Zoro's arm, like, he's got the hockey, but it's like his arms like turning into a twig.
Yeah, it's like it's constricting and almost drawing his hockey into the sword itself.
Yeah,
which is really interesting. And Zoro just glares at this sword. It's like, "Hey, you, give it back!" And he bulges out his arm again. And it's they explain it exudes its wielder's Ryuo on its own and slices more than needed. Well done. A normal swordsman would be a mere husk right now. Would you like a different katana after all that? It's like, no, I'll take this one. And
yeah, all right. I'm sold.
It's like, oh, so by the time I'm used to this, it'll mean I've gotten that much stronger, won't it? And Kawamatsu's like, oh, I can't believe this fellow. He's like,
yeah,
oh, I like
all
right.
This guy. I can't wait to see Zoro in action with this bad boy.
Oh yeah, we've seen Zoro's. Here's Zoro's form of training, and to me, that's really fascinating. That it's only Luffy and Zoro that are really training at this point. We don't see any of the others train. Now Sanji has already gotten his upgrade and not really done much with it. You can definitely still see him expanding upon it with his transformation. And Nami did get Big Mom's cloud.
Zeus
has Zeus.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen anything for Robin or Frankie or any of the others. So I'm curious where their levels are going to be at for the potential fights that are coming up.
Yeah, there's definitely still some surprises left.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to me that it's only focused on our two strongest getting even stronger. So, and
again, it's even funnier again knowing what you know about this. No indication of Gear 5. Not that there really would be, but that of course is sort of a kind of the elephant in the room, and it's like no.
I'm just taking my time and not even worrying about Gear 5 and just waiting for it to happen. I don't want to
exactly just sit back and relax. We'll get there.
So according to intel from Robin, the Animal Kingdom pirates have 20,000 soldiers, while Shogun Orochi's procession holds around 10,000. In other words, we should expect an Onigashima to contain 30,000 enemies on that day. Good God.
This is going to be a big battle. It's nice that we're finally kind of getting the numbers out. And of course, is I forget.
Shutamaru / Ashura.
I forgot which one was. Ashura Doji's his real name.
Yes.
Right?
Ashura Doji's his real name.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's the it's not going to endanger the common folk because we're going to Onigashima, but even the mansion's plans will only help so much. And according to Kinemon, we've got up to 4,000. Although it will not be a true all-out battle, but it is still one. I feel like that just by numbers, like has to be the biggest battle we've seen up to this point in One Piece, right?
So it might be.
I'm like Marineford is really the only other thing that would come close, and there was We didn't really have hard numbers, but I could believe Whitebeard rolled up with 4,000 people or so.
Yeah, especially with all of his
the other fleets
and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and Frankie is going above and beyond with his repairs. It's like we don't got time. I want to be able to ferry 100,000 enemies. It's like, we're not going to have that many. There's nothing wrong with aiming high. It's a waste, but it's a waste of hard work. Let's put money on it. How many people will we get? And I think that's its own little setup that we'll probably see paid off. And Luffy's training in Gear 4, and he utterly destroys the steel with one punch from his King Kong gun. And he goes, well, that was a failure. It's like, yep, you strained too hard. It's like, that was a failure? What the hell?
I love the other prisoners watching. They're just kind of like, what is he?
And then we see Zoro training next to Momonosuke at the Bamboo Grove. And apparently Zoro was saying Tsunachi, because he's saying, I was told, because Momo was saying to Zoro, it's like, I was told not to say Tsunachi. It's like, it's just something that the old guy in my village told me. I've never said it before myself before. It's like, what? So, yeah. Now it's 2 days until the raise. Like, I made it back, Master. It's like, here's, Chopper and Luffy together. Tama, you had me worried sick because Tenguyama's like, oh, finally, she's okay.
Yes, right.
The Yakuza found 200 more men to add to it, so that puts our total manpower at 4,200. But no word yet from Sir Law. And Shinobu, of course, still doesn't trust him. It's like, if he doesn't help us,
a little hater.
Yeah. It's like, no way, he's really powerful.
He's really powerful. Yeah.
And we get, of course, Luffy Chopper explaining like, Luffy trained too much, now he won't wake up. So I was like, that's the sign of a successful training. If the hero can just sleep it off, he's fine.
Yes.
But we check in on the Resetsu prisoners' quarters in the Flower Capital. It's like there's nothing we can do for those captured in the capital. They'll even arrest the family members who dare to protest. So it's like dang, those are hardy samurai locked in there. So, and the men are trying to get out. It's like, hey, it's nearly the festival. We want to take part. It's like, no, silence. Like, damn it, how do we get out of here? How do we do this?
Right.
So,
which clearly is, I feel like, setting up for something, but I don't know. I don't remember how this resolves either.
I feel like some part of them or some aspect, or maybe it's even Law himself, will free them at that point.
That feels like the most likely to me.
Yeah. But use your remaining time to travel and prepare. Meet us at the port in question. And, Kinemon's group is heading out. It's like, we must get there before everyone else. And Luffy's like, yeah, okay. Our Sunny's here on the coast. So don't get spotted. Don't be preposterous. We've been scouting it out, so we're counting on you. He's like, I got this. And they got a nice little manly handshake. Got the you son of a bitch handshake there. And
oh man, and it's the day before the raid. Like, we are really just like these last few days. We're just running right through it.
I know. It's like it really did feel like the lead up to the raid was going to be most of Wano, but no, it's not.
Yeah, we're already almost here.
Act 2 is the lead up to the raid. that's which is kind of perfect. But here's where it's like, it's a good thing we have like a lot of people that are able to get on those ships because, as it's mentioned, there are countless smokestacks over this land and even more unfortunate laborers beneath them. And they're discussing it like, you think it's true? Did you hear the rumor about the samurai? Like all these regular people, it's like, oh, it's actually a signal for the raid. It's like, it's more normal people that have not revealed themselves, but wondering like, should I do something? Remember what happened to Kozi clan? Even if they're alive, their spirits will be broken by now. There won't be any more uprising. And we'll still be slaves. So it's like, there's no help for a locked up nation like ours, and nobody can come along and put up a fight against Kaido. And it's like, we need more of that Luffy inspiration to come around and see something displayed to these people. And they really will have an uprising at that point. And it's like, I love the pieces that Oda's putting down.
Yeah. I feel like you're really getting into the mindset of, what it must have been like to have, to see this and to have seen it and to seen it like fail once before and, just to be beaten down by this oppressive regime and just like, there's no point in any of this. We'll just be slaves forever. So, everybody kind of has their own kind of opinion on it, which I feel like is very realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely is. But this, Oda's going for a classic samurai look. Where it's like, meanwhile, 7 samurai with red scabbards, 1 shinobi, and 1 little lord set off across the barren ground, crunching like winter frost under their soles. The sun is at its zenith, burns bright and hot, despite the lingering clouds. These are not vengeful ghosts come to repay the slaughter of their liege after 20 years. They cast 9 shadows crisp upon the earth. And it's like, damn, is he giving him some pomp and circumstance?
Yeah, no, this whole sequence feels so, it's cinematic, right? And just seeing them all kind of march off like that. It is
literally
it
7
really
samurai.
Yeah, literally 7 samurai. It just feels like the beginning of the end. And what got me, of course, is that we've got we cut to some of the other characters, and they're like, well, when we win the fight, we'll build even fancier graves. And we've got Otoko kind of seeing off her dad. We've got a grave for Yasuie, and then what surprised me, we've got a grave for Pedro. We've got Wanda and Carrot and Shishilian here, all kind of paying their respects.
I like the different reactions where Wanda, is tearful. I forget the lion. What did you say the lion guy's name was?
Shishilian.
Shishilian, yeah. He's angered, but Carrot is calm. She's gone through her grief already, being there.
Yeah, I like that detail. I feel like as the one closest to Pedro, I feel like she's.
And it's so interesting that she's barely been featured in Wano after being such a prominent character in that. I feel like she's going to come back, but also, when's the next full moon? How long has it been?
That's kind of important.
I want to see that full moon so we can see more of these. I want to see Dogstorm transformed and Cat Viper. I want to see this.
Oh yeah.
So that'll definitely help call those numbers. But Tenguyama is checking in on Zoro. Is like, hey, do you find that Emma fits comfortably in your hand? He's like, huh? You already wield Kitetsu the Third. That is one of mine. Oh, really? It works much like a cursed blade does. The weak cannot control it. So it's not actually. Turns out Kitetsu the Third is not actually cursed. It just works like a cursed blade, intentionally, to wield the weak.
The way I interpreted this line is that he's talking about Inma.
Oh, I thought he was talking about.
But
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure myself though. It's not 100% clear.
Yeah. Anyway, he keeps going, saying the most likely reason it feels familiar to you must be some twist of fate. You see that white blade, Wado Ichimonji, which of course is his signature blade, and Enma were both crafted by the same man, the blacksmith Shimotsuki Kozaburo. He broke the laws and left this land over 50 years ago. So there's the origin of Zoro's village.
Yeah, it's funny that we got so many like Shimotsuki characters, right? Because we had Ushimaru, the guy with the fox, who was the daimyo, and now we have Kozaburo as another one. So there's a lot of connections to Zoro here, which I guess makes sense.
It's fun. It feels like it's been a while since we've got real development for Zoro.
That's true. Yeah, and I feel like having all of these like katana blacksmiths, it feels like the perfect way to kind of weave in their stories with his own. So yeah, that's cool that we've got just the connection with Wado Ichimonji and Enma, as well as Kitetsu, and that yeah, that was new, right? That we learned that the one that Luffy took was Kitetsu the Second.
Yeah, well, we knew about. I think was that Kitetsu the Second, or Tenguyama mentioned it or something like that. But Zoro never heard that because he was like, "Let me take a look at that sword." That's all he had to say.
He was like, "Wait a minute."
Interestingly, here, Emma is not yet forged into a black blade. Depending on you, its rank might yet be raised. So that
gets his attention.
When that thing becomes a black blade, that is when Zoro has leveled up.
Which I believe Shusui was, right? I believe they mentioned that.
Yes, Shusui was. So I guess that is the key feature here, is that Shusui was already
like forged through battle, right?
But not with not with Zoro's own haki. This time it's time for his own haki to infuse it to make it his sword.
It's sort of, I feel like, leaving that room for growth. And like I feel like that also knowing how old oh my god, the Shusui and Ryuma Knowing how long ago that was, right, and how long they've been dead, and how much battle did that take to forge it into a black blade. But
you know what? I'll say it again. If Oda decides to follow up with a Ryuma manga, I'd read it.
yeah, right. I feel like there's so many little stories about just what's the origin of this, what's the origin of that. There's so many other places where it could go.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the other interesting thing about the segment here, as we're about to wrap up, is we see Luffy mastering his Ryuo by trying to punch a tree, and then it explodes from the other side, and he's just like, just you wait, Kaido, which is all right.
Yeah, looks like he mastered it. So this rematch with Kaido should be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But we end off with Orochi asking, okay, Udon safe and well? Yep, sir. No problems. Was it a bad report? Untrustworthy fool. But as long as I have this information, that is enough. A switch from Habu Port to Tokage Port. Kozuki Hiyori still alive somewhere in the north. So there's a traitor somewhere.
Somebody's feeding him information. Yeah. He's getting leaks.
Yeah, he's getting leaks, and like they don't know about Udon. Mm-hmm. Yet they do know about everything else. So I was like, who is that traitor? That's very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
And then it just shows Law. It's like, is that the indication that Law is the one?
Is Law up to something?
Like he did say none of my men have revealed anything, but now what's Law up to? What's he doing? So
yeah.
And that is it. The sky is clear over the flower capital where the cherry blossoms fall. The day of the fire festival is here at last. Make way, the Shogun's procession is passing through, and a battle that will affect the fate of the very world is about to begin. Wano Act 2 end. It's just like, damn. Also, I feel like they do not show Hiyori's face here with the mask.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like contextually, because with Wano Act 1, and because she was still alive, right, or presumed alive. So I feel like the context was that she was playing as an Oiran, with Orochi and the capital folk as like the audience. But yeah, here unsure.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And again, there's some really good progress to the hero side, but there's still a lot of stuff against them, which it makes for a nice bit of like. It's a difference compared to the assassination plot of Big Mom, where how's this going to go wrong? It's like, no, here's how, like Oda's showing, here's how it's going to go wrong. So the big question is, how are they going to adapt to those things?
Yes, yeah, and where things go from here. I mean, we did excuse me, we did the countdown, right? Like the battle's about to begin, right? Like we're not in terms of plot beats, right? Like. I was about to get some fighting started.
Oh yeah.
Like it is the battle that we've been building towards for the last like 45 chapters is I would not, not to say like, oh, we're just going to go right into it, but we are
it feels like we're going to get a lot more action soon.
Yeah, which I feel like it has been surprising how much this section really has just been world building, character work, and certainly a lot of like plot advancement, but not. I feel like the fights have been very, very like short and measured and very specifically like, this happens so that the next thing can happen. They're very much the fights are advancing the plot. Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and this is one example where I feel like the narration here, where it says like a battle that will affect the fate of the very world, is not an exaggeration.
I mean. If Luffy succeeds, he just toppled an emperor. That affects the world.
Two.
If he has to fight Big Mom as well, yes. It
could be a 2 for 1
at once is a huge deal. It's like, oh hell, this kid is a problem. Really is a problem.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
Now that we have ended an act, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, I actually had that thought. I didn't realize that at first. But then I realized, had a realization. It's like, oh, we're gonna check in on the rest of the world. I don't know how much we're gonna see. I forget how many chapters it got before. But it's like,
last one was just one, I think.
Yeah, the cool thing here is that it's been like 10 days. So I think that's enough time for the reverie to have ended. So I think we're going to see the aftermath of the reverie at this point.
Yeah,
so that'll
we,
be.
We kind of got to double back to that. That is kind of the major, B plot outside of Wano is the whole referee thing, and kind of there's a lot I am so excited to talk about next week.
Oh man, I cannot wait.
I know pretty confidently what we're gonna hit next week, and I'm kicking in my chair.
Oh my god.
Some of the most exciting stuff, and not just that. It's the once we come back to Wano, and kind of the first few plot points, after that is also just like, it's some of my favorite stuff.
I mean, we have Orochi knowing a lot of the stuff, so I was like, what are we gonna do? How's this all gonna go?
How's the plan going to go?
Yeah,
for sure is kind of the big question right now.
I guess the other thing is like, is Act 3 going to go even further, even wider with our net? As Act 1, Act 2 compared to Act 1 will go wider, or is it time to start focusing in? And I can see it going a little bit wider, just because of plans not going exactly to plan. But it's also, if the rest of Wano is just the day of the fire festival, that's insane. So much happens
that is
on this
true.
one single day.
When you put it that way, like, that is kind of nuts, isn't it? I mean, that's like, it's basically 3 years.
Yeah, it's not
in
unheard of for years worth of content to actually take place, only cover the course of a single day. But it's still crazy.
It is sort of a an almost exhausting prospect.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Oh man, no. This is, I think one thing that, as I want to say, as we're kind of in the wrap up, I really like how between Act 1 and Act 2, it really does feel like these acts feel like they have their own distinct identities in terms of plot progression, tone, structure, that sort of thing. And knowing, kind of where things are going leading into Act 3, you could already kind of feel like Act 3 is going to be way different than Act 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So it is such a, I mean, it really, like, I'm sure Oda, as a storyteller, knows in his mind with other arcs what is sort of Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And we've talked about that kind of, on the show previously, but it's like kind of surfacing it and kind of having it just as like a, like as a bit of theater. I think it's just one of those touches that adds so much, I feel like. Yeah,
I agreed. Before we completely end off, though, we do have an SBS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Somebody's saying, I have something I want to ask you, Oda. With Zoro always biting his swords, don't his teeth hurt? My favorite character is Zoro, and it's like, hi, hello, Zoro lover, Shinya-kun. It's so nice. That's so nice of you to say. It's true that his teeth hurt, but he still does his best and keeps biting his sword. I just imagine now he just covers his teeth in hockey.
Right?
The reason why is long ago he made the promise to be the world's greatest to someone who died, and the sword that he bites is a keepsake from her. So that's why no matter how much his teeth hurt, he will keep biting until the day he becomes the greatest in the world. Thank you for your postcard. I eagerly await the next one, because there's a cute little bit of fan art of Zoro holding swords, like very obviously like from a 8-year-old or 9-year-old. Next one is in chapter 935. You can see somebody hidden in the bath. The truth is, this was me using my Suiton no Jutsu. And this is, of course, Sanadachi. And basically, you can see like one of those bamboo sticks under the water when Nami is being surrounded by all the guys, because it's a mixed bath.
Of course.
And Oda just goes, "It was you. I wanted to show Shinya-kun a prim and proper SBS, but you've gone and ruined it." And finally, so the last question is, so whenever there is a chapter with a very moving scene, I notice that the SBS corner on the next page never has any vulgar content on it. I think there are lots of chapters with scenes that immerse me in the lasting memory, so I was wondering, is this intentional or just a coincidence? And it was like, you're right. Whenever there are scenes when characters cry, or if there is Yuji Sanada and his ilk aren't well, or if basically, whenever characters cry, those like Sonata are not welcome in the SBS. I'm very particular. So basically, he makes sure that he keeps things serious whenever serious moments happen.
Yeah, the managing the tone, I think, is very important. So I'm glad he looks out for that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, very much so. So, yeah, that is our chapter. Our sets. My God.
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited for next week, if only for the broader look at the wide world. I am so curious how badly things are going to go, how quickly, and where that's going to leave everyone. And I almost wonder if this is the opportunity for the other Straw Hats to get a little bit more focus before we get into the fights. Because I feel like Usopp, Frankie, Brooke, they kind of need some time to really show their stuff. They've been helping, but they haven't done like a whole lot in greater terms.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's where they get to shine a bit. So we'll see.
Yeah. I do feel like now that we've kind of setting up just like what the numbers are looking like for this big battle, I would at least like to set the expectation that like I feel like everybody gets at least a little bit. There's like a little bit of something. You know,
I mean,
maybe not much.
All the way back in Water 7 and that whole the rescue
Enies
Robin
Lobby and stuff.
Yeah, Enies Lobby. I was blanking on that. Luffy took out how many thousands of men on his own.
Strong.
Yeah. So a lot of times, a lot of those numbers are just whatever. But it's like
for sure.
But there's still a matter of like you don't want to wear them out. So it'd be very interesting.
Definitely. I mean, when you think about it, this is kind of our first Enies Lobby since Enies Lobby.
Yeah.
And that is kind of, I think, something that is a sentiment I kind of wanted to hold on to until we were maybe a little closer to like understanding the structure of Wano proper versus, going to Onigashima. But like kind of now that we're kind of at that stage, it's like, Onigashima is kind of our Enies Lobby too.
So Act 1 and 2 is basically Water 7. Act 3, I'm going to guess, is the train ride to Enies Lobby.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, obviously, in true Oda fashion, just getting there is often its own kind of ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, but man, we're 2 acts down. It just feels good.
It does. But yeah, with that, I believe we've said all we wanted to say about chapters 951 to 955 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or simply BitNerd on BlueSky. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I am Brandon Bovia on BlueSky, talking about anime, manga, games, and my job. And just kind of, follow me for more of that. And I just can't wait to, especially next week is going to be so freaking good.
I know there's a lot of sets out there that people are very excited for me to get to. So.
Yeah, no, the next like 3 to 4 all bangers. This next stretch is so friggin' good. Like the next like 20 chapters or so are like some of my favorite bits in the whole of Wano. Counting the parts that don't take place in Wano.
Amazing. And if you'd like to help us out more, you can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derrick Bittner. That's DerrickBitner. To listen to the next episode ad-free 3 days early, as well as patron-exclusive bonus episodes, which now that we've gotten far enough, those will start including me watching us doing commentary on certain episodes of the anime that Brandon will pick out so we can see the animation. That is so widely regarded in the Wano arc of One Piece. So we'll be checking that out. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 956 to 960 of One Piece. So until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
I have so much remorse. If I don't keep busy, it will consume me. If you refuse to let go, bite off my damned arm. Take it and eat it for all I care. But I will not give up until I'm through.